So I found this. Let's see if we're live. I found this new cool website that will let you stream royalty-free music. So just like ESPN, man, because we're big like that, you know.
Right.
We'll have a little bit of music in the background. You may not be able to hear it. I don't know. I'll turn it down a little bit. There we go. All right. Hey.
Aquino became the first player in history to hit 13 home runs in his first 100 plate appearances.
That's insane. Hey, real quick though, guys, welcome to our first ever weekly college football picks with Scott and Clay.
Yo.
Hey, we played pro ball, but I don't know about you, Scott. I actually love college football more than I love baseball. I really do.
I would have to. I'd have to agree with you on that.
And I would say I probably know more about college football than I do baseball, and isn't that crazy?
Yeah, yes and no. Kind of depends on how involved you get, I guess. But yeah, I could see it. I think I have a pretty decent game plan or knowledge base on some of the teams that are, what guys they have back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But who knows, man? I mean, I could very well lose all my picks all year, but you never know.
That's right. All right, let me get this Skype call started recording. We've been recording on YouTube, but I like to have redundancy. Hey, guys, welcome to the weekly college football picks with Scott and Clay from Pro Sports Talk. Scott, how was your day?
It was pretty good.
What's going on? What's going on over there?
Heat. The heat is back.
Yeah, we got a little bit of it today, too. Got back up to 91, 92. I was enjoying those low 80s, upper 70s for a few days.
Yeah, we were there yesterday with the storm. It was wonderful. But now Hannah's volleyball team won last night, and pretty easily. They won 25 to 4 and 25 to 9. So
really, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, Cade. I told you. Cade, they pegged him as a quarterback, but once he begged them to put him in a defense, their eyes opened up a little bit. And I went and watched practice today. They told him this week he's a ninth grader. He's supposed to be playing JV, but they told him this week he's dressing out for Friday night's opener on varsity. And I watched practice today. They have him as first team on every special teams. They actually have him back on kick returns, not as the main returner, but the next line up. And they worked on him catching the ball and running it back because they said the team were going to play. They said the team were going to play often pooch kicks, and that's why they put Cade there. And then he was on second team defense for varsity today at safety. So
okay.
I don't know if he's talked himself out of a quarterback job or if he's talked himself into a promotion and playing at varsity. I don't know. It may just be a 1 week thing because JV didn't play this week.
Right.
I don't know. So either way, it's going to be cool. The game's Friday night, and the team we're playing is usually pretty freaking darn good. Like, they're usually really good. Mm-hmm. So that's what's going on in my world.
Good.
But I did a little research today, man.
Uh-oh.
I did a little research on the games we're picking, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, right? Bama's defense might have taken a bit of a blow today.
Saw that. You told me about that, and I looked it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got a feeling they could run their fifth string in there, still be better than most people.
You're probably correct.
But I did a little research on our games this week that we're picking. So, we've got Northwestern versus Stanford. These are our games, guys. This write it down. If you lose money, don't call us. We don't care. We got Northwestern versus Stanford, Oregon versus Auburn. Northwestern is at Stanford. Oregon versus Auburn.
Neutral site.
Neutral site. UGA at Vandy. Georgia Tech at Clemson. Wisconsin at South Florida. Utah at BYU. UVA at Pitt. Purdue at Nevada. Colorado State.
Hold on, I got to correct you there.
Is that backwards?
Nevada.
No, Nevada.
No, Nevada.
Okay, whatever you Western Yankees like to say. All right, so then we got Colorado State at Colorado, or is it Colorado?
Colorado.
Okay, good.
And that's actually, I believe that one is always played at I don't know what it's called now. Mile High
It is
Stadium.
a neutral site. I can't remember. I can't remember. It's in Denver though, right?
Correct.
It's at the Denver Stadium. All right. Then
It's Sports Authority Field. That's what it is.
Okay. Then the last game we got is Boise State at FSU.
Correct.
What do you want to start off with, Scott?
Well, as always, to me the intriguing team almost every year is Boise State.
Okay.
Having been an alum of Nevada, they're Nevada's rival as far as football goes.
Okay.
So, and of course, they came on stage when they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago with the Statue of Liberty. That was like 10 years ago, wasn't it? But, so that's kind of put them on the stage as like the almost all-time Cinderella upset team. I think this Florida State game could be the spread's 4.5.
Okay.
In favor of Florida State. You just don't know what you're going to get with Boise State. They could.
Is this the first one you're gonna? This is your pick. You're going for it now?
No, as the upset.
No. I'm saying this game. This is the one you're going for. First pick. This game.
Yeah.
This game.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick that one. I mean,
Here's what
I'm kind of torn. I think I'm going to take Boise State just because of the point spread. I think Florida State will win, but it might be by 3 or less.
Okay. I hear you. All right, here's what I think. Boise State lost a lot of players, including their starting quarterback from last year, Brett Ripien.
Okay.
And they lost most of their defensive line.
That's a problem.
That's a problem for everybody but Florida State. All right. And here's why. Willie Taggart is a train wreck as a coach. I really think that. I believe that. I think he's probably a great guy. Nobody call Willie and tell him I'm talking bad about him. But Florida State finished last year 5-7, and I don't see that they're any better. Like I don't see that they really improved much. Boise State was 10-2 last year. And yeah, they lost some key players, but when it comes down to the two, it is at Florida State, which kind of gives me hesitation. However, you said the line's now at 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Now here's the kicker with this game. It could possibly be canceled.
I don't think it will be. I don't think that's
this looming hurricane coming.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to end up canceled. To be honest, I think that Hurricane's going to stay east, and and you got to think, Tallahassee is way up in the north. Well, it's in the Panhandles, the northern part to the west. It might rain, but I think they'll be all right. But so you're going with Boise State on the spread against the spread?
Yes, correct.
I'm going with you. In fact, I'm going Boise State straight up too.
There you go.
Against spread and straight up.
So looking at Florida State's roster here.
Yeah.
They have a senior quarterback in Alex Homabrook.
Has he ever played a game?
I have no idea. And then they have a sophomore quarterback named James Blackman. I don't know any of them. All the other quarterbacks that they have are freshmen. So it very well could be that whoever's starting for Florida State, this could be their first start as well. Who knows?
And then you add the Willie Taggart effect.
Correct.
Dude, I feel bad ripping on the guy, but he's like I said. I'd probably love to have dinner with him. Hang out.
Right.
But I just don't. I think he was a terrible pick for the head coach at Florida State.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Sorry, Willie.
how schools pick coaches, and what are their criteria? What are they basing it off of? You would think a program like Florida State, after Bowden retired, and Jimbo left,
You'd think they would go for a big name,
right? And somebody that has a proven track record.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know. Maybe
right.
he sold a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves.
Or he just knows somebody that loves him. Hey,
that's true.
So listen, that's our pick for Boise State at FSU, -4.5. I'm taking Boise State against the spread and straight up. Scott's taking Boise State against the spread. You got any call on straight up?
Straight up, I'm gonna have to go Florida State.
All right, there you go.
And the reason being is I think their speed might be too much for Boise.
I hear you. All right, well, let's move on. Colorado State versus Colorado. What you think?
Let's see. We got Big 12 against Mountain West. I'm going to have to go with them. The spread's 13 in favor of Colorado. I think I'm going to have to go with the Buffaloes here.
I hear you. And you know what? Sad. They were both terrible last year. Colorado was 5-7. Colorado State was 3-9. However, Mel Tucker takes over at head coach this year for Colorado. So I'm going, even with the -13 spread, I'm going with Colorado with the experience of Mel Tucker.
Okay.
Just because I think he'll out-coach.
And Montez, I remember watching Colorado a little bit. Their quarterback Montez, he was halfway decent last year. I just don't think I think he was, hopefully he's gotten a little, how would I put it, containment to himself. I think he tried to do too much sometimes in the games that I saw.
Okay.
But, maybe they fortified their defense a little bit. I don't think their defense is all that great. And
no, in fact, I think
just a little hometown plug here. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
Colorado has a quarterback, a sophomore quarterback that is from my alma mater.
Oh, really? All right. I'm going Colorado against the spread and straight up, obviously. And you're going with Colorado too. All right. So,
yes,
first two picks. First two picks in. Colorado's got that one. This is the game you're interested in, right? Purdue at Nevada. Nevada.
There you go. That it, baby.
This is your game of the week for you, right? You like Nevada.
Well, that's where I went to school.
Okay.
So it's, of course, it's a Big Ten school. Purdue's, I guess, middle of the road, so to speak, as far as in Big Ten conference.
Right.
Nevada kind of depends on what they have. They are that, the pistol offense.
Yeah.
That was created at Nevada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So their former head coach.
And for people that don't know, the pistol offense is a shotgun formation with two running backs lined up behind him, right? Am I right?
No. The whole point of the pistol is that it's in basically a shotgun, but it's not as deep as 7 yards. They're more like 3.5, 4 yards deep. The quarterback is taking the snap.
Okay, I always thought they had two running backs stacked behind him because that's the way a couple of Cade's teams ran the pistol. So I didn't.
Right.
Okay. I got
yes, you can. They've ran it with a fullback off to the right, almost like a power I, so to speak.
Right.
But yeah, no, the quarterback's just closer. And that actually started when Kaepernick was a sophomore there.
Right.
And that kind of set the stage for Nevada having, a couple good years or whatever.
Gotcha. Well, listen, Purdue is favored. I've got them at -11.
Okay.
But, they finished last season in a bowl game against Auburn. Do you remember what the score was?
I do not.
It was 63-14 they lost. So
Yes.
they're coming back this year. Are they over that complete butt kicking that they got from Auburn last year? Nevada's coming off a decent season. They were 8-5 last year, and supposedly they're a better team this year. And Purdue's secondary is kind of questionable. They've got good corners, but their safeties are a little hit and miss from what I've been reading. And Nevada has a good receiving core, and they ought to be able to throw out some points on Purdue.
Yes, they're known for their air attack. So when I was there as a student and a baseball player, they used to put up some numbers. I want to say they averaged probably close to 45 points a game, 30 points a game. I mean, it was ridiculous the numbers they would put up.
That's moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, and that was back in the middle, early to middle or late 90s. So it's changed a little bit. Obviously, there's been a couple of coaching changes and stuff like that. Their quarterback that I believe is going to be starting is Christian Sloan.
You don't think it's going to be Malik Henry?
Well, I just looked him up. Solano actually had any significant playing time last year. Malik Henry, there's no stats on him.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Christian Solano broke his hand 2 weeks ago.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know
I think Malik Henry is going to be – it's either 2 or 3 weeks ago he broke his hand at practice. So I think Malik Henry is going to get this start. And
I don't know much about him.
I know a lot about him because Malik Henry was on Last Chance U.
Ah.
He was on that show 2 years ago. And
Can he run?
He can run. And he got an offer from Florida, and he went to Florida. Coming out of the JUCO, he went to Florida, and he transferred out of Florida when it became obvious that what's his name? We were just talking about the other night, the quarterback for Florida, when it became obvious he's the starter. So he transferred from Florida to Nevada, and now Christian Solano is out this week with a broken hand. So, Malik's an interesting character, man, if you watch that show.
Okay.
Pretty good dude. Stayed out of trouble for the most part, but big fan. Malik Henry is a big fan of Malik Henry. Let's just put it that way.
Gotcha. So, hey, do you remember seeing the video of that kid a couple years ago from Oklahoma that was just bulldozing over guys?
No.
Okay, so there's a video. He's in high school.
Yes.
Absolutely, tore people up, right?
Yep.
I believe he's a running back at Nevada.
Yes, he is. He was a running back there last year, I think.
I believe Devontae Lee, I believe is his name.
Yep, that's his name. Yeah, he ran over like 9 guys and scored a touchdown.
He's 5'8", 230, dude. He is a bowling ball.
All right, hey, I got to share this on... Hang on, I got to share this on Facebook. All right, let's see. There we go. Yeah, no, he is. That video did go viral. So anyway, what's your pick? Purdue -11 at Nevada. Nevada, sorry.
I'm going to say because of the altitude, Purdue may run out of gas later on. But with them being a Big Ten and that big of a spread, I think Nevada's going to cover, but I think Purdue is going to win.
Interesting. And it'll be interesting seeing what Malik Henry can do for Nevada.
Yes.
Dude, I can't say it that way.
It's all right. You're Southern.
You're
Southern. It's forgiven.
Honestly, I think Rondale Moore and the Purdue receiving core is going to shred Nevada. They
very well could.
And I think they'll probably beat him by 21 points. That's my pick.
Maybe.
So I'm going with Purdue. Scott's going with Nevada.
There you
I'm going
go.
with Purdue. So, all right, let's move on. We got you picked this game, or you brought this game up. I didn't even notice it. Somehow I missed it, but this should be a good game. University of Virginia against Pitt. Minus 2.5 point spread. UVA is the favorite. What you got on that? Anything?
I don't know much about either team. I mean, the only thing I guess I kind of know about Pittsburgh is when James Conner was there, but he's long gone. He's with the Steelers now.
Well, Pitt lost their star running back Darren Hall last year to the draft.
Okay.
I think he's with the Packers now. University of Virginia's defense is actually
pretty good.
Pretty good, and they bring back 8 starters this year. Pittsburgh didn't have much of a long passing game last year, but they do have a good core of receivers that can catch the ball. They may not be speed demons and catching 98-yard touchdown passes, but Pittsburgh's quarterback has got a couple years under his belt now. You could call him a veteran. He's got good receivers. It's just going to be interesting. Can they get the air attack going, or is it just going to be short passes?
Right.
The caveat to Pitt's offense is their offensive line is almost completely brand new. I think they lost 4 offensive linemen this year, starters. So their Pittsburgh's star defensive end, Rashad Weaver, is out for the year. And if they don't get pressure on Virginia's quarterback, Bryce Perkins, they are not going to have a shot against UVA. I'm going with Virginia. The spread's only 2.5. Virginia is favored. I think Virginia wins by a touchdown or 2. Even though they're at Pittsburgh.
Right. I'd have to agree with you on that.
All right. So that's our pick, boys. Take Virginia over Pittsburgh, minus 2.5. That's the current line I had. All right, moving on. Utah at BYU. This is the
Holy
battle.
War.
This is the Holy War, Battle of the Mormons. So, you got anything on this?
Yeah, you can't drink when you watch this game.
No, or they both lose.
Correct.
Yep. By default.
Utah's been pretty competitive in the Pac-12 these last couple of years. They're ranked 14th. BYU's kind of, they're just kind of there.
Well, BYU was ranked 18th on defense last year. Did you know that? They only gave up 324 yards a game last year.
They're still independent though, right?
I think they are.
Yeah,
they are. So they can pick and choose who they play.
Right, and I'm gonna have to pick Utah. Being number 4, I think they're gonna want to come out and make a statement. What's the spread on this game?
Utah is favored by 6.5.
I'm gonna say they're gonna cover that and then some.
Yeah, Utah's senior. Utah brings back a senior quarterback in Tyler Huntley and a senior running back in Zach Moss. They both missed the meeting last year between these two teams, but both are expected to play. BYU's quarterback and running back don't have a lot of experience. They're both sophomores. Last year as freshmen, they only played in a couple games. I think the running back had like 500 yards rushing. The quarterback had like 1,600 yards passing. So I think experience is going to favor Utah, even though they're playing at BYU. So yeah, I'm taking Utah. 6.5 point favorites. I'm taking Utah. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
I agree.
All right, next game up. Wisconsin at South Florida. You know anything about these two teams?
Not much about South Florida and Wisconsin. I know that they have a pretty darn good running back.
They have an amazing running back in Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, so I think they're just going to be like normal Wisconsin, and it's going to be probably 6 yards in a cloud of dust because I think they're going to create some serious holes against South Florida. And this is what, 12 and a half?
13 and a half.
I think Wisconsin covers. I'm going to pick them to cover.
It is funny. These lines are really shading you to pick the favorite. 6.5. Utah's a 6.5 favorite. Wisconsin's a 13.5 favorite. UVA's a 2.5 favorite. Those lines usually scare me just a little bit because they're almost nudging you to bet on them because the smart money's going the other way. But I'm with you. South Florida's running game is actually pretty good. They should be able to make a game of it, but I still think Wisconsin beats them by more than 2 touchdowns. So
I agree. Yeah.
I'm going with Wisconsin. Scott's going with Wisconsin. So let's move on to the next game.
Well, let's skip Vandy, or let's skip Clemson and Georgia till the end, because you'll have a lot of animation and excitement about that one. So we'll go to Oregon and Auburn.
I'm with you. This is another game you pulled out of your hat that I somehow missed when we were talking about doing this. Oregon, Auburn. What you got?
Well, that's a Jerry's World. So this is part of the Advocare Kickoff Classic.
There's no home team. This is at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. I mean, technically, there's probably a home team, but but it's a neutral site.
So I'm saying like Lee Corso, Herb Street, all those guys, they're talking Oregon up a ton.
Yep.
Oregon's ranked 11th. Auburn's ranked 16th. I think overall in general, I just don't know that any Pac-12 team has the firepower or the defense to hang with an SEC team. So I think it's going to be competitive. But I think Auburn withstands the test, and I think they cover.
I agree. All right, here's why. Gus Malzahn is taking over the offensive play calling this year. When Gus Malzahn calls plays, his teams run the ball almost 64% of the time. And here's why that's important. Oregon is going to be a passing team. So the key is going to be keeping the ball away from them.
Right. Get them out of rhythm.
And just don't give them the ball back. So Gus is calling the plays. He primarily, 2/3 of the time, calls run plays. Bo Nixon is the quarterback for Auburn this year, and he's going to be part of the running game because Bo, as the quarterback, is probably the 3rd or 4th fastest player on the team on either side of the ball.
So Bo knows running.
Bo knows running. And he can pass, too. He's a pretty good passer, too. So between Gus calling the plays and they're going to be running, and Bo being part of that running game, all those 3rd and 1s, those 3rd and 3s, they're just going to eat those up. And Auburn has one of the best defensive fronts in the nation with Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson.
They got big boys that can move.
Yeah, Nick Coe, Cap Bryant. Oregon, when Oregon played Michigan State last year, Michigan State's defense last year was amazing. Their defensive front was unreal, probably the best in the country. When they played Michigan State last year, they rushed for 37 yards. Auburn's front line is just about as good. So, Oregon,
and Oregon's going to have to create some turnovers.
Oregon's going to have to throw the ball too. But the problem is, how often are they going to have it?
Well, right, right. So if they can create turnovers, if they can get a couple 3-and-outs, their defense is going to have to step up. If Oregon can get that air attack going, and basically wear down the front of Auburn, make them tired by the beginning of the 4th quarter, then they'll have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I mean they do have probably the best quarterback in the country, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So
he's pretty darn good.
My pick, I'm taking Auburn. I think they win by 10.
Okay, I like it.
What are you going with Auburn?
Auburn. Yeah, they'll cover. I'm not sure about 10, but they may get 7.
Okay. All right. So let's move on. We got Northwestern and Stanford.
The Midwest Ivy League against the West Coast Ivy League.
Yeah. Yep. Stanford's favored by 6.5. What do you think? What's your take on this game?
I think the total IQ for both teams is going to be about 8 billion.
Yeah. Yeah, none of these guys may play in the NFL, but they'll all be working on Wall Street in a couple years.
Correct.
Or designing spaceships, you know.
Doctors, who knows?
Yep.
Northwestern. Man, they're so they're a tough read almost every year. You kind of get the thoughts of like, okay, they're going to be kind of fun to watch, and then they'll lay an egg against somebody, and then they'll show up against Ohio State and beat them, and they're
Is that a coaching
all
problem?
over the place. I don't know if you chalk it up to coaching or if guys just get up for certain teams and kind of not for others.
Right.
You know, I mean, they're traveling out to the West Coast, so the time difference is going to be probably a little bit of a challenge, I guess. I mean, the game's at 3:00, so it's not that big of a deal.
3:00 your time. 4:00 Eastern.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, it's not the time factor is not that big of a deal. If they're playing like at 7:00,
Right.
you know, that could be different. Stanford's ranked 25th. Bryce Love is no longer there, so I don't know who they have at running back. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
If I don't know if they even know. You know, it could very well be, you know, by committee to find out who's gonna stick out. I'm sure they have a pretty good thought process. There's a kid from McAllen, Texas, that is a senior running back for them, and Trevor Spites.
Okay.
And there's another running back as well that's a senior. So they got some upperclassmen that have been sitting waiting their turn for behind Bryce Love. So who's to say that either one of them, you know, they're going to get their time and hopefully they make the most out of it, and we'll see.
Well,
but,
you know, Northwestern has a Clemson transfer starting at quarterback this weekend, right?
Oh, do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
Hunter Johnson. And Hunter Johnson is actually a really good quarterback. I think he was a 4 or 5. He was borderline 5-star. He might have been 5-star recruit. But when you've got what Clemson has now, he just saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Was like, I got to get out. And I watched Hunter play in the spring game last year, I think, or the year before. I can't remember. And dude, he's a big boy with a big arm. He's pretty impressive. I think between that and KJ Costello with Stanford, I don't think the run game is going to be a big factor. I think the ball's going to be in the air all day long. Yeah.
Right. I'm just looking at this article that says why KJ Costello, not Justin Herbert, or is it Abear?
It might be Abear. Depends on if he's from Louisiana or not.
Or he's a hockey-oriented guy.
Yeah.
Is the Pac-12's best quarterback. So there's an article saying that Costello is actually better than Herbert or Abear.
Yeah, this is going to be. I think this is going to be an air
tight game.
It'll be fun to watch because, you know, Stanford could throw last year, but they had Bryce Love, right? And this year's going to be a little different. This year, I think they're going to rely on Costello more, and then Clemson with Hunter Johnson. I think he completed in the spring game I watched. I think he completed like 75% of his passes. It was just money, and he came in live games too, I think, and he was solid. So I'm going.
Interesting.
All right. With all that said, I don't know what the over under is, but I would take the over, whatever it is. If the over under is 53 points, I'd take the over, but I don't know what it is. With the game being at home, and with Costello being such a veteran now, I'm going with Stanford though.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to go with you on that.
It might be a sucker bet because of the line again. Is that teaser line minus 6.5? But I'm going with Stanford.
I have to agree.
All right, so there we go, guys. Take Stanford this week. Don't call us if they don't cover.
And so I'm going to be watching that game, and then USC plays the nightcap on Saturday, and they're playing against Fresno State, and USC and Stanford play the following week.
That's going to be your bonus pick at the end of the show, because I have no interest in those dudes. But we'll have the Scott Albin bonus pick of the week, and if you beat Scott, you all win $1,000. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
no,
That'll
you
throw
will not
people
win
in there.
$1,000. We would have a big crowd if that were the case, but no,
That's true.
that's not
true.
happening.
All right.
Save that for the end.
Georgia Tech at Clemson.
All right, this is going to be a blowout game.
Spread is a 37.
It's going to be a blowout game, but if you're picking against the spread, it might be a little more interesting.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. I saw him the other day at a store. We live just down the road from Clemson, so
Right.
and it's a small town, so we see these guys everywhere. Cade played basketball with Christian Wilkinson last year before he got drafted. It's a cool town, but anyway.
Did he box him out?
No, but he said Christian Wilkinson can shoot. He said for a 300-pound man that he's like, Dad, that kid can shoot.
Well, in all honesty, almost any player, any athlete that is at a Division I has played some other sport in their lifetime and has some ability in that sport.
Yes, and almost every defensive D1 lineman is way more athletic than anybody gives them credit for.
Correct.
It is unreal. Most offensive linemen, even if they weigh 330 pounds, could outrun me and you in a heartbeat.
Uh-huh.
So this spread is kind of I think it's kind of a trap, and here's why. Georgia Tech has a new coach. Shoot, my brain just went blank. The coach for Georgia Tech for years was nothing but a option offense for years. Years.
Yeah, was it O'Leary?
No. Crap. Now I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't have a chance. Georgia Tech head coaches. I cannot believe I can't remember his name.
That's all right.
No, I gotta know now.
Well, this is also an ACC matchup too, so there's a little bit at stake here.
Paul Johnson, 10 years at Georgia Tech.
There you go. So they led the nation in rushing yards last year.
Yeah, it's because that's all they did. It was like going to a JV, 1A high school football game. That's what they did.
Right.
And it worked, except they didn't win. They got yards, but they never won the game.
But they were 10th in points though.
And they still didn't win.
Yeah.
Could you imagine for the 10 years that Paul Johnson was at Georgia Tech, being a quarterback recruited at Georgia Tech, you'd be like, I kind of want to throw the ball every once in a while.
Well, that's unless you're an option-oriented quarterback. I mean,
True.
There's a reason why they wouldn't pick a pocket QB to run that offense.
Right.
But imagine being an option quarterback and all of a sudden now you're in an offense that requires you to pass and be a little bit more in the pocket, then you're kind of SOL.
So here are the questions. Will the new Georgia Tech quarterback, Jeff Collins, go with a more pro-style offense? Or is he going to stick to the option game? I don't know much about him. I don't know. And who's going to be their starting quarterback?
I have no idea.
I looked it up. They haven't announced the starting quarterback as far as I know.
I guess we'll find out. We'll find out at 7:00.
So this spread is 37 points. And by all rights, Clemson should beat them by 50. However, here's my catch on that. We don't know what Jeff Collins is going to do. We don't know who their quarterback is. So obviously, Clemson's going to have limited film on what's going to happen. Then Clemson's almost their entire defensive line is gone. So they're going to have a new defensive line. If this game gets out of hand, first game of the year, Clemson's up 36 points. I see Dabo taking his foot off the gas the first game of the year and protecting his players.
Well, Yes,
I
I
know
do
he's
see
not
that.
famous for that, but first game of the year, it might happen.
I see that. Yes, and I agree with you. But with that being said, they have Texas A&M coming in the following week.
Yeah.
So do you have to? So there's the caveat. Do you, if you're up, 45-3 and it's the fourth quarter, do you let the second stringers come in, get some playing time, see what they can do, basically like a preseason game, or do you keep the starters in to build up their endurance and their stamina to face A&M the following weekend?
I think you pull them. I would.
Because then they got Syracuse, which is ranked 22nd the weekend after that.
I'd pull them. I'd pull them to keep them safe. Nobody is going to give you. Nobody is going to discount Clemson as the number one or number two team. They're not going to drop them down to 5 if they only beat Georgia Tech by 28 points.
Correct.
So I pull them. I pull them out. I pull them out in the second half if we're up 21
Right.
or
Plus,
28.
well, not only that, but when do the rankings truly count?
They don't count till the last week of the season. That's the only time
Exactly.
they count.
Exactly. So that you get into the bowl games, and then then after that, they don't matter until the end of the year.
Right. Yep.
So
All right. So here's my take on this then, and with what we're talking about. I'm taking Georgia Tech plus 37,
uh,
even though they're
I'm-
at Clemson.
yes, I think that's too big of a spread. I would have to go with you on that one. Just because I think Georgia Tech's going to click in their offense later on when the second string gets in there.
I agree. They're going to get some garbage points at the end. That's what's going
Right.
to happen. So, all right. Scott and I, our Pro Sports Talk is taking Georgia Tech. All right. Last game of the day. And the one that will be like Christmas for me on Saturday. All right. Because I was born in Athens, Georgia. I committed to Georgia, but then I got drafted. I should have played there, but I'm glad I didn't because life would have been totally different. But Georgia at Vanderbilt. Georgia's favored by 21 points. What do you think? You know anything about it?
I know that Jake Fromm is going to come out and tear it up.
He is, and the Georgia running offense is insane. Again, it's running back U. It's RBU.
Yeah.
They just keep lining them up. 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. Vandy's schedule really sucks. They start the season off with UGA, then they play Purdue, then they play LSU. Whoever was in charge of scheduling for Vandy ought to be fired.
Well, that'd be the head coach, wouldn't it?
I don't know, and it was probably scheduled 10 years ago. I don't know, because they schedule these things way out.
Yeah.
But they're going to lose to Georgia. They're going to lose. Most likely lose to Purdue, and they're definitely going to lose to LSU. So they're probably going to start the season 0-3.
Just talking about Purdue real quick, just because they're on the map, and we already talked about them before. So they are at Nevada.
Okay.
Then they host TCU.
Yep.
And then they host Vanderbilt. So that's not. I mean, it's not a tough 3 games, but
no, but it's solid. It's not like, if you're a Purdue fan, it's not like you can take the weekend off and not watch the game.
Right.
Vandy has some good receivers. They got one of the best tight ends in the country with Jared Pinkney, I think is his last name is pronounced. But, dude, Georgia returns almost all their offensive line that was already one of the best in the country. Georgia should have a field day running the ball. So, here's the one.
Their offense is going to be able to do whatever they want whenever they want. It's going to be like a varsity team playing a JV.
But here's the caveat to that too. The spread is 21. And does Georgia do the same thing? Do they get up 21 in the fourth quarter, throw everybody else in, and does Vandy grab some garbage points and break the spread?
I don't think so. I think Georgia's is going to be up like 52-7 by the fourth quarter.
Well, you might be convinced me. I was about ready to take Vandy, saying they were going to come within 24.
I'll be shocked if they do. honestly. I think Georgia's way too strong, and they're going to want to put a hurting on them just to kind of prove a point and scare people because it's again they're starting the season out in the SEC,
Yeah.
right out the chute. So
So you're going Georgia, 21-point
yeah,
favorite. You're going with Georgia.
I don't think they're going to let off the accelerator at all.
All right. You've taught me into it. I'm going with Georgia as well. I say, after talking to you, Georgia wins by 28.
There you go.
All right, so we got Scott's Lock of the Week. A Scott Lock. That's what we're going to call it.
Scott, all right.
Tell me the game you were talking about.
I don't know the spread, though. That's the only problem.
All right, what's the game? I'll find it.
Well, it's USC and Fresno State. And I'm looking it up, too, right now.
Now, why did you pick this game? Because you were talking about it the other day.
So, USC is ranked like 40th. And they haven't been that low in a very, very, very long time. So I think they're going to come out and they're just going to light it up. The spread's 13.5.
Okay. In favor of USC, correct?
Favor of USC. So they started a true freshman last year.
Okay.
At back. And he had his ups and downs. It's JT Daniels. He's a sophomore, so this will be his second year getting into the offense.
Okay.
On top of it, they're opening up the Memorial Coliseum, which is their home stadium, which is also where the Rams' home stadium is. They had to play all last year with it under construction because they're building suites to accommodate for the NFL lifestyle of the Rams.
Okay.
So this is virtually like a reopening of their stadium. So there's going to be a ton of energy and a ton of excitement going on with the new stadium.
Okay.
So I think we'll be firing on all cylinders. Fresno State's not. I mean, they're Mountain West. They're in the middle. I mean, 13.5 is still, rather close spread. They may fight for, put up a fight for about 3/4. And then I think SC is just going to take over. So
when do they
I think
play,
they'll cover.
They play Saturday at what time was it? They play
9:30 my time. So I am going to be up late watching that thing.
It'll be 10:30 my time. Yeah. All right, there's your picks. There's the Scott Lock for the week. So if you want to bet the house, go with Scotty. I'm not picking that game because I don't have a clue.
Do not hold me to it, though.
Yeah, don't send the mortgage note, Scott. It's not going to happen. So before we go, what you got going on other than watching football for Labor Day weekend? You got any other plans?
Probably just going down to my in-laws, and that's about it.
Y'all going to cook out and stuff?
Possibly. I'm not 100% sure on that.
You're not a big cookout family?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, all right.
I'm known for my tri-tip.
Sounds good. You need to fly out here and show me how to do it.
Hey,
I'm good at burgers and chicken wings and stuff like that, but when it comes to steak, I am not a master of it.
I can teach you.
That would be awesome. All right, so this weekend, I'm going to be glued to the television watching football. My son, Cade, is going to the game tomorrow night, the Clemson game. They got such a cool setup. They go and they rent stadium seats, like the fold up cushiony stuff. So if you volunteer to rent the seats out at a booth, about hour into the game you get to go sit anywhere you want. You got a badge.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think he went to every home game last year for Clemson for free. And then so he's doing that Thursday night. Saturday I'm watching football, obviously, and probably playing in the garage. But then Monday is the opening of dove hunting season. So I'm going out to my buddy's property. They've got a big pavilion. We're going to have barbecue around lunchtime, and then about 3 o'clock we'll go out and go dove hunting. So, and then I got to get back to work on Tuesday.
Perfect.
So, be a nice little weekend. hit Home Depot, might hit Bed Bath & Beyond. I don't know.
There you go.
Don't know if I have
there
time.
you go. Yeah. I hear you. And good luck to Cade, man. I hope he tears it up, dude.
I hope he
That's
gets on
going to
the
be
field.
awesome.
I hope they don't disappoint him and dress him out and they
Not
don't throw him out
do
there.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they ran him out first team, special teams on everything today.
There you go.
So I think he'll probably at least get that. Whether he gets in at safety, I don't know. But he's only 14 and he's playing with,
17, 18-year-olds.
17, 18-year-olds that weigh 230, 240, some of them 280 pounds. So
Yeah.
we shall see. But he definitely opened their eyes on defense, or they wouldn't be letting him do it. So
That's right. Yeah, our high school is we started this border war with schools from Oklahoma, so we're playing Tulsa Union tomorrow night.
Oh, that's
or
cool.
Friday night. So
Are you at home or away?
Yeah, we're at home. Last year they went up there and they got their butts kicked, but we'll see what happens this year. So
Well, cool. Are you going to the game?
Yeah, we'll probably go.
Cool.
I don't know if I told you, our offense is 100% shotgun.
Ours is too.
And they try to, because we have a play clock, so they try to snap it within 10 seconds.
Yep.
Every single play. So they line up. They don't even huddle.
That's same with us. That's what I was going to say. We're totally switching gears with our coaching staff. We're doing what you're doing. It's 100% shotgun, always, all time, no huddle offense.
Yeah, and they just they have a not a board, but they have like a PVC pipe with two numbers that hang, and then they change the numbers to what play they want. And from what I've been told, because one of my best friends, his son is a freshman quarterback, and they don't, like back in our day, we'd line up and huddle up and be like, all right, we're, I formation, we're going to do a 26 dive or, whatever, 26, 23 dive and, things like that. It's more of each lineman has their own specific wrist, card on their wrist guard for their blocking assignment based on the play that they're running. And then the running back has the certain number of what hole to hit. And then the quarterback obviously will have probably everything that has to go off of that. And then the receivers just have the routes for that play.
That's awesome.
So it's very like I guess easy for them to just be like, okay, I'm, my blocking assignment is 2, which would be, whatever.
Yeah, right.
So,
my blocking assignment's 2, which is the 4 hole, and I go there. So that's cool.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting. I'm gonna have to at some point, because I've talked to the head football coach a few times, and his wife is our real estate agent, and I'm gonna have to at least at some point sit down and pick his brain and be like, okay, how do you do this?
Right.
Explain this to me, because I love the X's and O's of football.
I do too. It's like chess, man. It's just like chess.
100%.
And I think we finally got some coaches that really know what they're doing. They won 3 state championships at a 4A school about an hour from here before they came here. And they brought the head coach, and he brought the entire staff an hour from where they were at, and all the coaches moved here.
That's awesome.
And every coach, the entire staff coaches both JV and varsity instead of having 2 staffs. And so whether you're in 9th grade on JV and you don't move up for 2 years, you're learning the same offense, the same defense, so that when you get to varsity, that it's just an easy transition.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's going to be great. I'm excited about it. And Friday night will be, it'll be interesting with Cade being in 9th grade, dressing out for varsity, and looks like at least starting on special teams. I heard them call his name a lot today. Cade, get out here. Cade, get out here. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But, hey, listen, I'm going to run. We've been on for an hour. Guys,
yes, sir.
Go back through our picks. I mean, we're baseball players, but we love football. Don't bet your money on what we're saying. But compare your picks to ours, and let's see how we turn out next week. Get on our Facebook page and let us know how you did compared to how we did. Go to prosportstalk.live to follow everything we do on the website. Go to our Facebook page. Just look at Pro Sports Talk. You can follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on iTunes and about 6 other podcasting platforms. I just don't remember what names they are. But if you got any questions or if you really, really, really disagree, hit us up on Facebook. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Scott, great to hear from you.
You too, man.
We'll talk again Sunday.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Have a great night.
All right. Have a good one.
Woo.